Hello Algebra 1, welcome to lesson 1.2. At this point I assume that you've mastered lesson 1.1 and you're ready to move on. And I drew a picture of future you in the bottom right corner because after this lesson you will be able to evaluate expressions. And this is going to build on what we learned in the last lesson. So evaluating expressions pretty much has to deal with replacing numbers, so numbers 5 or 2, for letters. We're going to see what that means in a second. So when we're evaluating expressions, our first step is to replace every variable with the value given. So we're going to replace every letter, every variable, with the value, the number. So maybe L for letter and a number sign for number. So we're replacing letters with numbers. And then once we do that, we can use PEMDAS, which we learned all about in the last lesson, to solve, to simplify it. So it's like we're rewriting it, but instead of letters, we're rewriting it with numbers. All right, so let's take a look at example 1. We're going to evaluate this expression for x equals 5 and y equals 2. So instead of writing xy minus 5, we're going to plug this 5 in for x. So we're going to write in parentheses, whenever we evaluate, let's get in the habit of using parentheses, 5, and then we're going to plug this 2 in for y. So another set of parentheses, because that x and y are right next to each other, 2. So we have in parentheses 5 and in parentheses 2. Now, there is something between that which we didn't write. This is the same exact thing as if we wrote 5 times 2. So we have to get in the habit of knowing that if there's parentheses right next to each other, it's as if we have a multiplication sign. So we have 5 times 2 minus 5. And that's our first step. In that step, we're evaluating xy minus 5 for x equals 5 and y equals 2. So we did our first step. We replaced every variable with the value given. Now we're going to use PEMDAS to simplify. So pause the video and try it. Alright, so 5 times 2 is 10 minus 5. And we did this multiplication here first. We did that step first because multiplication comes before subtraction. So 10 minus 5 equals 5. And that's how to evaluate an expression. The only difference between this lesson and last lesson is we need to plug these numbers in for these specific letters first. So going on to example 2, you can pause and try it if you would like. And we have 5r plus s squared. And we're going to substitute this negative 4 in for r. And we're going to substitute s equals 1, so this 1 is going to go in for the s. So we have 5 times, because that 5 is written right next to the r, it's as if it's 5 times r. So 5 times negative 4. Just want to make sure you don't write 5 minus 4, because that wouldn't be correct. There's multiplication. Whenever things are written right next to each other, like there, the x is written right next to the y, so we did multiplication. And that 5 is written right next to the r, that's also multiplication. So 5 times negative 4, and then plus our s is 1. and then that's squared. And we could put parentheses around that 1 if we want. It's not as important for that one though. But it's whenever you're evaluating, it's fine to put in parentheses, and normally that clears up things that would have been mistakes. So we replace the variables with the values. Now it's time to use PEMDAS. We're going to take care of exponents first. So 5 times negative 4 plus 1 squared. Now 1 squared is the same as 1 times 1, which is just 1. So now we have multiplication right there, and we have addition. So we're going to multiply first. So 5 times negative 4 is negative 20 plus 1. Make sure to do equal signs along the way. It's good to be in the habit of doing that. Then equals negative 20 plus 1 is negative 19. If you're not sure about something like that, go ahead and check your calculator and you'll find that that's the correct answer. So there's your starter for how to evaluate expressions. We'll go on to the next couple examples in the next video.